Hi, Miguel here, back with another Naruto vlog. Today we are doing volume 12, The Great Flight. So a lot of this volume focuses a lot around the match between Naruto and Neji, which kicks off the final part of the exam, which I'm judging by what the description on the next volume. I'm starting to think that it might not end up actually being the final part of the exam, but we'll see. We'll see. So, kicking things off is our first match against Naruto and Neji, which I mentioned in my previous episode that I really don't like Neji right now. He is the one person in this entire series who I've actively disliked. Like some of the villains, like Orochimaru, Zabuza, in previous volumes, I've like I've enjoyed seeing them. I don't root for them, but like they don't like actively make me mad. Neji like actively makes me angry. I was really rooting for Naruto to win, and Naruto it seems like he's the underdog at first. He has learned from Jiraiya how to tap into the nine-tailed fox's chakra, and this is more of a philosophical battle for him and Neji than it is a physical confrontation, because the two have very different outlooks on how to approach being burdened with a destiny that you don't want. And I think that's really interesting, and it does. At the end of the battle, after we see what happens to Neji, I do kind of feel for Neji more, and I do hope he learns from his experience with Naruto. So, Neji, as we've mentioned before, has the Byakugan, which allows him to see the chakra flow and also pinpoint the exact points in the body where chakra accumulates or is utilized or something like that. And in attacking those specific points, he is able to completely restrict or completely control his opponent's chakra, which means Naruto has to find some way to fight him from a distance, or find a way to fight him without actually being close enough to be have that used on him. And he finds various clever ways of doing that. Of course, his go-to is his shadow clone jutsu, which is a jonin level technique. He utilizes that to try to attack uh, Neji, but Neji thinks he sees through it, because he's like, oh, the one clone that's standing back, the one Naruto that's standing back and not doing anything and trying to keep from being attacked is the real Naruto, so he tries to attack that Naruto. But it's not. Naruto has thought ahead of Neji. He is expecting him to think that, and he actually counterattacks. And this is a lot of in a lot I'm very, very happy to see Naruto slowly evolve and slowly grow. I've mentioned this in previous episodes, but like it always impresses me to see how much Naruto has evolved throughout the course of these 12 volumes, because he's actually outsmarting Neji, who has been mentioned to be like the top rookie of last year. He is a force to be reckoned with. Everyone was betting for Neji in this round. Like no one was expecting Naruto to win, but he does, and we hear this philosophical dispute between the two. We learn a lot of Neji's backstory. Not only is he, a member of the cadet clan branch of the clan, which of course has to serve the main branch of the clan, but the cadet branch is actually branded with this symbol on their forehead that the main branch can manipulate at any time, saying like, hey, if you do anything out of line, if you ever betray us, if you ever betray the secret of the Byakugan or something like that, we could just kill you right here. It's very similar, I think, to the Dark Mark in Harry Potter, except it actually has the ability to kill you if you ever betray if you ever betray the clan. So this is why Neji believes that that everyone in the world is on a set destiny that they cannot change, and that is why he bullied Hinata during his match, because he told Hinata, like, you cannot change who you are. You will always be shy, you will always be timid, you will always be this person who cannot live up to the expectations of the Hyuga name. This is what he tries to tell Naruto. You are a failure, you are a person who will never become the Hokage, because people who become the Hokage are chosen at birth with raw talent, and they're able to work hard because they have that mentality. They're born with that personality and that mentality to work to become the Hokage. You are not one of those people. You will not become Hokage. You will always be a failure. And that is what he sincerely believes. He's not trying to be mean, and I get that. I don't want him to be mean. I still don't like him. But, this is what he sincerely believes. But Naruto actually points out, hey, you don't know anything about me. You don't know anything about my destiny. I have been fighting to change my destiny, and I've actually been changing my destiny. We've seen that throughout the past 12 volumes, how he's evolved from the prankster who nobody likes to the guy everyone ends up rooting for, and everyone ends up being very proud of. And he also points out, Neji, when you fought Hinata, you did that to actually fight against your destiny, in a way that you didn't really expect, because you psychologically manipulated Hinata. You continued fighting even when Hinata was clearly beaten. You were trying to prove that you were more than just the cadet branch of the Hyuga clan. You are a person who can defy your destiny. And so, like, in the physical realm, Naruto wins. He defeats Neji. And in the philosophical realm, he causes Neji to question his own outlook on life. And this is actually questioned even more when Neji encounters Hinata's father, the head of the main branch of the Hyuga clan. And it turns out, so we learn in this volume that Neji's father was actually, who was the brother of Hinata's father. He was actually the body double for the head of the Hyuga clan. So when at one point someone in another village was murdered, and as compensation they demanded the body of Hinata's father, it was actually Neji's father who was killed and sent to the village as compensation, as a body double. Because the two were identical twins, you couldn't tell the difference, and the secret of the Byakugan would have stayed a secret if the body double was sent instead. So that made Neji bitter, and the thing is, like, even after hearing this, I still did not like Neji. I still did not like his outlook on life. I still don't like the way he psychologically manipulated Hinata. Anyone who hurts my waifu is honestly really, it is really suspect. Really, like, punching me in the gut as well, because I like Hinata a lot. But it turns out, so Hinata's father actually comes in and explains to Neji that he never wanted this to happen. He was just convinced, this is the only way to protect the secret of the Byakugan from the Hyuga clan. We know that the village actually wants the Byakugan, that's why they demanded your body. But if we send the body double, then the secret remains safe. But Hinata's father actually didn't want that to happen. He wanted to find another way to figure this out, to work this out between him and the village. But Neji's father actually said, I'm not doing this for the good of the clan. I'm doing this to protect my brother. I'm doing this out of my own individual choice, rather than as a choice to protect the clan. And this kind of tears apart the idea of the cadet clan being always subservient to the main branch of the clan, because what Neji's father is doing is basically making a decision of his own volition to protect his brother. He's not doing it as a clan member, he's doing it as a brother, he's doing it as someone who loves the people in his family, which is it's heartbreaking to see, and it's heartbreaking to see how this has impacted Neji. He doesn't even believe Hinata's father when he tells him at first, but he actually gets down on the ground and on his hands and knees, and he says, please, like, please believe me, please understand, this is how things were going to go down. And I really hope, I really hope that Neji grows from this. I really don't like Neji, but I really want to, is the thing. After this, I really want to like Neji. I really want to see him grow from this and learn that his destiny is not set in stone. Learn, like, from Naruto, from his own father. I really want to see him grow from this, and I really want to see his relationship with Hinata improve. I want to see his relationship with everyone else improve. It's a really interesting way to set up a character arc, to set up a development for this character. I'm really hoping to see that Neji improves over the next couple volumes, and maybe to see that he becomes a lot more likable, in my opinion. So, moving on, the next match was supposed to be Sasuke and Gaara, but Sasuke is still missing. We see a little more of his interaction with Gaara from his and Kakashi's training, but we don't see enough. It's still hinted that Gaara may have killed him. I'm not buying it for 1 second. That would be a very anticlimactic way to go. But anyway, tournament rules would have dictated that Sasuke would have been disqualified for being tardy, but because everyone in the stands had really wanted to see the best of Konohagakure Village go up against the best of the Sand Village, everyone wanted to see that, to see, like, which of the villages should we support in this case. The Kazekage, I believe I'm pronouncing that right, the head of a sand village, he convinces the Hokage to instead delay the match until Sasuke gets back, to give him more of a chance to get back, to not have the audience members be disappointed, or, you know, to avoid any political backlash or something like that, or, you know, consequences. But we of course know that the Kazekage has his own agenda. We know that the Sand Village has their own plot that they're trying to come up with in order to overthrow Konohagakure Village. So that, with that said, the next match would have been Kankuro versus I believe it was Shino. Yeah, Shino and Kankuro would have gone against each other, but Kankuro has it has the mission in mind. So he is worried that without the match between Sasuke and Gaara, something in their plot would have gone wrong. So he instead forfeits, leaving Shino as the winner of that match. The next match is actually Shikamaru versus the other Sand Village ninja, Temari. I'm really starting to like Shikamaru. He's rising in the ranks among my favorite characters, because, like, I'm starting to see why he's so lazy. He has such a pessimistic look on life, but not in the way that Neji has a pessimistic look on life. It's more like, oh, this is such a bore, this is such a drag, oh, this is horrible, you know. But he ends up doing it anyway, purely because he is a genius. We see that he does not want to fight. He doesn't even want to. He doesn't even care about becoming a chunin. For whatever reason, he is here, and he doesn't even want to fight Temari, but he does so anyway because, like, oh well, I guess it would be horrible to lose to a girl. So you know what? Here we go. But we see that he is a master strategist. His shadow technique, the sand ninjas have seen his shadow technique by this point. Temari is already, like, predicting, okay, how am I going to counter this technique? If the stands cast this shadow, he's going to cast this shadow. I'm assuming he can only control this shadow to this extent. How am I going to counter that? I'm just going to counter it by this. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Shikamaru actually surprises everyone by directing Temari's attention to the ground. He distracts her from the vest that he causes the wind to rise into the air or something like that, which casts an extra shadow, which extends his own shadow, and then utilizes a hole Naruto dug in his own his own battle against Neji to continue to extend his shadow while redirecting Tamari's attention to the air. In doing so, he manages to create a situation where his shadow is extremely long, which allows him to take control of Temari and basically gain the upper hand. But then he does something interesting. He understands his limits. He understands, like, okay, I used up a lot of chakra in trying to manipulate those shadows up to this point, so I forfeit. I could beat you, but I don't really want to. Shikamaru is pretty interesting, I gotta say. I really want to see more of him. But anyway, so Shikamaru forfeits, which leaves Temari to go up against Shino, supposedly. And then whoever wins between Sasuke and Gaara would go up against Naruto. So we are still waiting for Sasuke. We're still waiting for the match between Sasuke and Gaara, and I'm very interested to see how it'll turn out. I'm very interested to see if Sasuke will even show up. And of course, we still have the manipulation by Orochimaru. We still have the alliance between the Sound Village and the Sand Village against Konohagakure Village, against the Leaf Village, and this exam is finally getting to a head. I'm very curious to see how this will turn out. I'm curious to see who will win. Will Naruto win? I don't think Naruto is going to win. Even if Sasuke manages to beat Gaara, I still think he's going to either beat Naruto or cause this exam to come to a complete halt. So I'm very curious. I'm also curious to see who's going to continue onto the rank of Chunin, because we've mentioned previously that Chunin can be chosen even from the people who lost in the preliminaries, depending on how well they do as ninja, how their skills are assessed by the upper level ninja. So anyone could become a Chunin, anyone who made it to the preliminary rounds. So I'm very curious to see how this turns out. I'm very excited to see how this arc ends. By the way, that was the end of this book, so we can toss that to the side. And we are moving on to volume 13 in this book. I'll see you then.